Gemini, who doesn't love your energy? Everybody does. Even doing your reading brings me up to a completely different vibration. I love, love, love the sign. And this is the month for you to get into this new universe of material manifestation that you're going into. Yes, the next 2 years you're going to be focused on making more money. So let's see what this month has. I'm doing this on 19th of July. I'm sorry it's late, but I'm going to cover the most important aspects of this month which are yet to come. You have a full moon lunar eclipse, the longest lunar eclipse or longest any eclipse of the century, happening on 27th of July in Aquarius, 4 degree of Aquarius, in your ninth house of goals. You are giving up some goal, Gemini. You're done with something. You're done with some education. You're getting a culmination of some sort of higher goal that you had set for yourself. And this is the last eclipse in Aquarius. So you're getting done with something. You wrote a project, a study, some education, putting the ribbon on it, getting done with it. A legal dealing, maybe culmination of a legal process, you're getting done with it. You know that the next 2 years are going to be completely different for you. So you're putting a bow over the next 6 months on what you thought was your prior belief, was your prior education, was your prior guru, maybe a teacher that you're leaving behind, and you're moving to better and bigger things. This is a very strong eclipse. It's a full moon lunar eclipse, the longest one of the century, and it's going to be squared by Uranus. And Uranus is sitting in your 12th house, so you're clearing out some old pattern, some unconscious pattern. Maybe it's some secret hidden behavior that you're no more wanting to continue in this new life, giving up some obsession, some addiction that you're done with. Saturn is also sitting in the 8th house, so it's the whole energy of clearing out the deck before you move on to this new phase in life, giving up an addiction, an obsession, a compulsion, an attachment, or maybe your need to control maybe a situation which you know is no more in your control, getting rid of that situation. You know that you tried, you're done with it, you worked very hard on it, but now it's time to move to better and more talented things. You had a solar eclipse in Cancer last week on 12th of July in your second house. So you must have got some message, or you'll be getting the message over the coming weeks, because that's valid for a month, about how you're going to make your next wealth. What is the new material security, new opportunity that's going to make you over the next 2 months, next 2 years? It's also great time to make a purchase. The sun is also positively aspecting this eclipse that happened last week. Focus is on your finances. The light is on your finances. When the last year's solar eclipse happened, sun and moon came together and said, this is our first eclipse in Cancer, many more to come, but let's give Gemini an idea of how they can make more money, how they can get more self-esteem, how they can boost their self-worth further and their net worth further. So as Saturn and Pluto are working towards your 8th house of rebirth, you're clearing the deck, you're giving up your old beliefs, as this eclipse will happen, the lunar eclipse will happen next week. You are moving to better and new things where you're going to be worth much more what you have been previously. At least materially, you have always been worth more than you know. But this is an indulgent energy too. Feeding your senses, right? Cancer season is all about food, food, food. Great outings, taking care of yourself, spa. Just know that this month you need to move to something better. You're getting the first message. Take care of yourself, take care of your self-worth. See what are the new ways of making more money going forward. You would get this message. Also, Pluto in the 8th house. This is the own house of Pluto. So it's sort of a rebirth that you're experiencing. There might also be some changes in your partner's resources that might have come about as a result of that. The eclipse, the solar eclipse of last week happened in very positive energy with the psychological houses. So it's like a purge. As I said, I mean, you're moving on as the nodes are going to change in November. You're working on moving on from this old energy of learning something, working on your communication skills, your philosophy. You're moving on to all of that, working on your talent set, to actually being out in the world, showing your worth to the world, coming out using these skills in material world and taking care of your material stability now. So be prepared for that, because More of that is coming in January. More of that is coming in August itself, next month, when you're going to have a new moon in your skill set as well. You're going to work over the next 6 months creating a new talent for yourself, creating a new skill set for yourself that is going to yield much more value to you. Both it will add to your self-worth and to your net worth. And Jupiter is helping you. It went direct in your work sector, so your work sector will get more stabilized. You would see as the months go by that things are moving in the direction you want them to move. Neptune is moving backward in your 10th house of work as well. So you're seeing clearly what hasn't been working out in your professional sector. What is the real title that you're going after? Were you a bit fuzzy about that earlier? Were you not clear on what you want to reach to? What are your higher goals? What is the title you want to be known as in the world? Maybe you were not clear on that. So when Neptune is now retrograde, that helps you see clearly what's the title you want. And Jupiter going direct in your work sector makes it easier for you to get there. You just have to grab this opportunity. See what is the message that came through this month for you on how you could get to this next level in your career, in your monetary house, in your self-worth, or just in general in taking care of yourself. What is more that you can do to get there? Jupiter in 6th sometimes, especially because it's in Scorpio, it might have even brought out some health issues, but it's all for good. So Jupiter in Scorpio is not your typical Jupiter. Jupiter is a very positive planet, but when it's in Scorpio, it brings out issues as well to light because it wants you to heal them. It wants you to repair them, especially when it is in Scorpio. It might bring out some hormonal, sexual organ issue, respiratory issues, because Gemini are more affected by that as well. Just breathe. It's all good. It's all to heal all that was not working out well and was not known earlier. Uranus in 12th also brings out suddenly some of the issues, some of the purging that you need to do before you move to this next step. So any unconscious, secret, hidden behavior, as I said, might come out. But you are blessed. You're blessed. All this is happening to make you give a long-term better health and work life. So work with this energy. More importantly, when the planets are retrograde, like Mars is retrograde right now, Mercury, your ruling planet, will go retrograde next week. Work with the retrograde by going inward and trying to take a step back and see what needs to be cleared out. So you can take the next leap when the next eclipse comes on 11th of August, because you will be propelled forward completely in a new direction over the next coming 6 months, starting from 11th of August. So you're just preparing. It's like, you're taking a step back, pulling yourself back with these retrograde, and then like a band-aid, you go forward. Not with a band-aid, like a rubber band, you go forward and you're completely catapulted into a different skill set direction. Let me talk more about Mercury retrograde because that's your ruling planet. It's very, very important for you when it goes backward. It happens thrice a year. So it's not new to you. You understand this energy. But whenever your ruling planet goes backward in third house, which is the house of Mercury, third house is the house of skill set. You are the most skilled sign. You represent skills. Your sign represents communication skill, sales skill, talking, being able to communicate yourself, being able to come across to your philosophy to the world. It's your base, it's your thought process, your mentality is what people learn from you. So when that house is being reworked, it's very core to you. Mercury will have you rework your external talk, your skill, your thought process, your mentality, your communication. How do you come across externally to people, to your in immediate environment, to your colleagues, your dealings with your siblings, co-workers, neighbors? All of that will come under review. When Mercury goes not in the direction it should go, you would also see these things not working out. Communication is not going the way you want it to. You're not able to convey the things that you would want it to be conveyed. So be careful. Read that email twice. Be careful when you're getting impulsive and calling your sibling. Just be careful on those things because communications from 26th of July to 19th of August will come under pressure with this. but it's the time to shine your skills. Some old skill set would require to be put a sheen on so you can move to the next skill set that you need to make more money going forward. So it's time of polishing old skill set. It's also about relooking at your courage. This phase requires you to be courageous. It does. When you know that such big changes are coming, you're going into a completely different phase, you know this is a growth house, so just have courage. I mean, just keep in mind that's what you need. It's 1.5 month of real hard work for you to move forward. Both Mercury and Mars are reworking your opposite houses. While Mercury is reworking your external talk, Mars is reworking your internal talk, your philosophy, your understanding of life, your education. You're getting done with some goals. What used to inspire you maybe would not inspire you anymore. Mindfulness is the name of the game as your inner and outer talk is being reshaped. So you can start manifesting in your outer material world to make more real wealth in the world from next year. It's not a great time to travel this month until mid of August. It's not a great time to travel unless you're going for completing some higher education that you're in middle of or fixing an old project. Then that's a different thing. You do what you have to do, but preference to start anything new is after mid of August. Before that, it's time to shine your talent. Jupiter is reworking your health. Mercury is reworking your external talk. Mars is reworking your internal talk. And the eclipses are moving you suddenly forward. So when 27th July eclipse come, it's going to push you forward over giving up some previous goalpost. And it doesn't happen in a day, right? So a lunar eclipse has effect for the next 6 months. So it will take you some time to get done with this chapter of your life to move to the next. It's your 2019 goal to move to this next phase. But this is giving you the first sudden push. Mars is conjunct this lunar eclipse on 27th of July. It gives you the energy. South Node is conjunct this full moon lunar eclipse on 27th. It lets you give up something. It's squaring Uranus. Suddenly you decide something. I'm done with this goal. I want to move on. You already would know this because when you have got an inkling of how you can make more self-worth and net worth for yourself, you would already be looking at what can I do next? What can I do next? So when you're rethinking all of that, 27th July eclipse is actually a blessing for you to move to this next step. Don't try to achieve something in July, August. Just review because details might be fuzzy. They will fill in time. Just get the general direction. Look back on old goals. What did not work? What worked for you? You would be working very hard on your knowledge and education sector. Just manage not getting too extreme in your opinions, not getting very stuck up. When there are eclipses after eclipses, you want to stay flexible. There will be difference in opinions, people having their temper flare up with Mars going retrograde and Mercury going backward. Communication might not be so clear. So just be ready for it. You have been warned, right? So just be ready for that. When you come out after mid of August, enthusiasm, boldness, you have it figured out. You know what the new goalpost is, and you start working on a new skill set. This time, use it. As I said, when you pull that rubber band back, that's what this time is. You're pulling it back, getting yourself in the right position, so you have the arrow on the new goal that you got. Just be ready for that. I love you guys. Thank you for coming back to my channel. I'll see you next month in August. Thank you.